So one of the times I came here this month, an MTA worker attacked me to stop coming here. So I came here again to and love the MTA workers buy. Yeah, I'm not saying that every MTA workers are responsible. So I came here today to buy food, and this African-looking woman came and brushed her body on my, and she never apologized. And soon after, the police came with a dog. The last time they attacked me, also, the police was arresting the homeless here, and so this got no cool. She gave them an order to be framing up homeless and calling us crazy and believe that's the best way to abuse us. And I saw someone like me, I'm potentially worth money because my mother's daughters did it to my mother when she was homeless. They framed mental illness on her, Balali and Florida, they were born in America. They framed mental illness on her and got her killed in Bellevue because they got her, they incited an arrest on her or wrongful arrest. My mother said address was just trying to kill her early, so they can blame it on the police that the police evicted us wrongfully in 2010 caused her to die of depression and craziness. So that I can get all the money. They were so inspired by the way Diallo was killed wrongfully by the police. And I live with her daughters also, so believe me, that's one of the motivation. They were so inspired with the way Diallo was killed mistakenly by the police. They even lied on me after that. Diallo was killed mistakenly by the police in 1999. And the daughter even lied on me that I was crazy in 2001. So I had the weapon and brought the Pittsburgh police to come and lock me up in the psych ward at Mercy Hospital. I just come into the country when my mother had an immigration case. I even lied to the hospital, Mercy Hospital in Pennsylvania. That Bolale and the daughter said, that I didn't have an immigration case. They were just trying to cause me to die in that hospital so they can sue and say, so I had to call my lawyer. His name was De Pietro, who called the hospital and told them I did have an immigration case. That was in 2001. So that was how I was able to flee Pittsburgh and come back to New York. And 14 years later, the daughters did the same thing to my mother. Me and my mother had just been evicted from our house on Staten Island wrongfully by the police. And Eric Garner was helping us, and the police went and took Eric Garner dead after I gave him the court papers in 2014 to give the police on the same street where they killed them, Bay Street and Victor Boulevard, at the same spot where I gave him the papers. And in January 2014, I gave him the court papers. And the police went and took Eric Garner dead close to my birthday that year in July 2014. So I guess our daughters were inspired. Diallo was killed in 1999, 2001. The daughter set me up and tried to kill me the same way Diallo was killed. Eric Garner was killed in 2014, 2015, like a year later, they set my mother up. For mental illness, Eric Garner was put on a psych hold also by the police. You know, so the adults went there to the hospital to tell the hospital to lock her up in Bellevue. And, and this got my mother angry, so they started the altercation to get my mother killed. Now my mother is dead. So I contacted this Me Too lawyer, Gloria Oren, to tell her I had a sexual harassment case in which the police sexually harassed me and took my home. And Arigana was trying to help me. They laid on top of him, choked him dead. And I asked her to help me. She told me she's the leader of the Me Too, but she told me she helps me. The police wouldn't arrest R. Kelly and Weinstein, and she needs the police to arrest her so she can get a lot of money for her client. So she was bribing the police. So I was telling people about this. I was trying to get this girl already arrested also for telling me that the police came and arrested me in 2019, choked me. You know, so I believe to silence me forever, the Me Too and my mother's daughters are behind all the attacks I'm experiencing. And like an African-looking woman came and brushed her body on me. And I tell people to stop brushing their body on me because I heard in places like Paris, people claim, they are getting bed bugs from touching other people or touching their property. So I don't want to be set up in any extortion bid by this Me Too group because I have a lot of dirt on people like my mother's daughter, Belani and Flora, on Me Too. And, Alvin Bragg is not helping me. He's the later Regana's lawyer for the family and he became the Manhattan DA. So, I believe, so I don't know why he's not helping. I've contacted him this year by Twitter either this or last year to tell him what is going on, but he never got back to me. I sent him a 2-hour video. So this was going on. So the evidence has to be reviewed. I'm being jumped. I'm the later Ghana's friend. So they said this governor also authorized the police to be arresting homeless under the pretext of mental illness. This is how they killed my mother. My mother's daughters who were born in America. My mother was born in Nigeria. They lied on my mother that she was crazy and got her killed. They were just trying to win money. Because Eric Garner was just killed 2014. A year later, they lie, while he was being put on a psychiatric hold by the police also. They call it 730. So there's a pattern. In 1999, the police in New York killed Diallo, and my mother brought me to the country in around 2000. 2001, my mother's daughter set me up. They wanted me killed, lie that I had a weapon. Like Diallo, the poster that I had a weapon, lie that I had a weapon, and they sent the Pittsburgh Peel, we responded with the emergency team, surrounded the area, and people were, the passerby were wondering what was going on because they saw one of the doors had hit me with a car because my mother kidnapped me, we had been evicted then also wrongfully in another part of Staten Island. So my mother, through first chance, told me to come with her to Pennsylvania, that she had something to do there. We were staying in a hotel on Staten Island, Hotel Richmond, just across the boat, yeah. You know, so she told me she had something, papers to go pick up in Pennsylvania that she would accompany her there. Then she left me, when we got there, I saw she got into the car, she was coming back to New York. So I told her, no, I got in the car also. So I was trying to get into the car, so my mother's daughters pushed me out of the car and ran me over with the car, hit me with the car. And people walking by were wondering, like, why is this African immigrant being hit with a car? And then the other daughter, Balale, Flora hit me with a car, and the Balale called the police, said I had a weapon, and was about to attack them with a weapon. So they sent the police BA to try to shoot me dead. This was in 2001, and they went and locked me up in the Mercy Hospital in Pennsylvania, and lied to the hospital. When I told the hospital I'm not crazy, I have an immigration case in New York, and they were holding me hostage. They didn't want me to return to New York for the immigration case. They were just setting up an altercation to harm me. So the court told my mother's daughter to ask her, is it true that this person has an immigration case and you're holding them hostage? And she lied. I know this person doesn't have an immigration case. I'm just crazy and delusional. You know, so I had to call my lawyer in New York, the Pietro, to call the hospital. And the hospital saw I did have an immigration case. That was how I fled being held hostage. So, and the hospital didn't prosecute her in 2001, 14 years later. As soon as Arugana died, I guess that revived the killer instinct in her. And then she came to New York, as my mother said this brother was poisoned her with car antifreeze antifreeze poison. So my mother was my mother reluctantly went to live with this Bolale in 2014 because the shelter kicked her out in here on Staten Island. I think that brother has the hand in it also because she was connected. All of a sudden, the shelter told my mother that she can't be there anymore. So my mother reluctantly went to Pennsylvania, and she said this Bolale lawyer to come and stay there. I said, we was feeding her counterfeit poison the food that this brother would give her. So my mother said her heart started hurting, and she was about to have a heart attack. She fled back to New York, and this brother followed her. Even though my mother didn't tell this brother what hospital she was in, this brother was able to find out, came to the hospital. So my mother was like saying that she was surprised that this brother was able to find out, you know, and then told the hospital to lock my mother up inside, just to get my mother's, heart condition to deteriorate, deteriorate, you know. So this Bolani also has a violent history. Well, when my mother took her to Nigeria in 1988, she beat up my mother, said she doesn't want to live in Nigeria. So my mother arranged with the white family and for her and our other sister Flora to come to America. Within a year of going to America, they beat up the white family also. So they ended up in juvenile prison. And dislocated the shoulder of the white family, well, the husband of the white woman. They were staying with in Pennsylvania. So she has a very violent history. Whereby she would beat my mother, beat up other people, and she finally killed my mother with the other sister, and nobody's helping me. And now she's been empowered by the Me Too, and they believe they can get people killed in a ghetto lottery scheme. This Bolale has a ghetto lottery mentality. She always plays lottery. When I met her, all she does with her money is buy lottery. She's always complaining that she's broke. My mother says she's into drugs, but she likes to gamble. So she may be a gambling addict, and using the New York police for ghetto lottery. So my mother's daughter got my mother killed in a ghetto lottery scheme. She gambles and try to get people killed by the police to make money. So, so Irving Bragg, you have to do something about this. It's a shame on your society that you can allow this level of crime and for the black race to be reduced to nothing. So the Me Too, this is a ghetto lottery. Irving Bragg, she's a gambling addict and she's getting people killed blindly. She always buys lottery. And she believes that the way Arugana was killed is the best way to kill another person and get money. And this Governor Oku is helps support that because Governor Oku is connected with the Me Too. So she said the police should be arresting homeless like me, should do mental eval, everything. So to provoke me, they'll be bumping into me, hitting me with doors. So they hired their thugs. So to cause the police to try to want to take me in for mental eval. So this governor Oakland is compromised. Alvin Bragg, you're all ruining the city by covering up murder. And I'll be forced to file international lawsuits to stop your genocide. Like South Africa sued Russia, sued the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu. I'll be forced to file a lawsuit against your city to stop international genocide. My mother was killed here. My friend was killed here. Alvin Bragg, you're the district attorney. Somebody just bumped into me here. You need to investigate this people. Your MTA is also joining in. So I'll be forced to file international lawsuits. You have to investigate Alvin Bragg. I'm a African immigrant, but I'm not a slave.